Let's say kettlebell sport long cycle introduction, and today I will show you the first unit of it, clean to the rack. Acceleration pull start where the swing forward ends. And if you remember again from the last video, I was pointing that the swing forward should end with the bent legs, and arms should be separate with your body, and that will be the beginning of accelerating pull, because we need to use counterbalance, and that's how accelerating pull works. So we start this accelerating pull not by pulling them with our arms, but basically moving balance to the very end of our heels and basically start falling back, and that's what pulling the bells. And then when this move start, we also use our legs, straight them, and that's how we force this accelerating pull, and that's how it's even stronger. As you can see, that insertion happens before we land our elbows, and ideally to rotate your thumbs outward, and that's how your elbows will be close to each other and narrow. If I will show you a few reps from the front, you will see. So that's the best preparation for you to land your elbows. If that's how insertion is done, then you just relax your arms and you see your elbows right above the pelvis, and they will perfectly land to your rack. Because one of the mistakes that I can see, that athletes clean the bells right away to their shoulders, and that's where they do this insertion, and after all they land the elbows, and I find it as a mistake. The type of insertion will help you to avoid bruises on your forearm, because as you can see, I'm not waiting when bell will fall on my forearm, and that's what mostly causes bruises on your forearm. Well, we'll try to show a few bad repetitions. So if you'll do something like this, so eventually of course you'll have bruises on your forearm. But with the style of cleans that I show, you touching the bell first, not bell falling on your forearm. And this way, well, and plus as you can see, when thumbs turning outward and palm facing forward, bell ahead, and it's even not laying on the forearm above the bell, and it's connected to the bell. So that's how you just cannot make any damage to your forearm this way. One of the most difficult part for beginners is transaction from the grip for swing and insertion on the rack. So the first thing to understand, there is no any connection between these two. You cannot prepare yourself for good insertion during swing, and actually opposite, from the rack position you cannot prepare yourself anyhow for swing, and if you do, then probably you will have some problems with the grip. And what I mean is, between the moment of accelerating pull and insertion, bell basically flying, and we shouldn't hold it, and that's one of the main reason why insertion didn't work. So we'll show you. So if you keep holding handle, see, it's very hard to make a perfect insertion. But if you will let the bell go, well, it's just for demonstration, and that's not how far you throw it when you do clean, but basically bail flying and your hand just following and very close to. And that's why when you're not holding the bail, you just insert your empty arm where you want it to be, and that's how insertion always will be deep. Even if you try to work like that, also can be some issues. Depends how accurate you move your hand inside of the window of the bell. And well, for me, simple way to explain it, if you can look through the window of the handle, so it's like you want to put a key to the keyhole. You want angle of the window match with the angle of your palm. You shouldn't on your way, you shouldn't touch the handle by your forearm. It should go right on the middle, and only the thumb can stuck on the top, and that's how insertion will work. Nothing should be on the way of your palm beside beside the top of the handle that you touch by your thumb. The rest you shouldn't touch. So that's how insertion works. Next important tip for successful insertion is your wrist. So when you try to insert your hand, do not do any motion in your wrist. It shouldn't be motion this way, shouldn't be motion this way. So from the front view, keep it straight and one line. From the side, keep it straight and one line, and even I can say try to keep some, like pulling it backward as hard as you can, not forward for sure, like this. So you basically take your whole forearm and hand as one piece, and that's how you do the insertion. So again, if there's the bell, so that's how you insert the hand, and also as you can see, direction of insertion is about 45 degrees compared to the line of the handle. Not perpendicular, because if you do it perpendicular, again, you see your hand will stop a bit sooner as it should, and that's how, well, you can just stuck on the halfway. So that's why ideally to do 45. I'll show you a few reps. Maybe this will be a better view. No tension in your hand, in your fingers. You don't need to, you can squeeze the handle, basically just hanging on your thumb here. Yeah, and again, right position when most of the weight is right on the bottom of your palm and right above your wrist. It's not good when you feel the most of the weight on your thumb. Of course, that's not a good insertion, right? When you're pulling your hand and your forearm will be all tense like this. Also, mistake to just fight for the angle in your wrist, and you can see this way I even kind of rising up a bell a little bit, and that's a huge work for your forearm, and they show that cause also lots of like tension and pressure on your forearm. So don't fight for this angle too much. Just keep it relaxed and make the whole weight be mostly here on the very bottom of your palm. That's where the most of the weight of the bell. A few repetitions of insertion with 2 kettlebells. And when insertion done, there's time to land our elbows. And now it's time for me to show all these phases all the way to elbows landing. Side view. So as you can see, that's not a complete clean to the rack yet. It's just elbow sliding. So we complete, I believe the most technical part of the clean, because the rest is just so easy when your elbows already on your pelvis. You need just to straighten your legs and pull the belts and touch the shoulders, and that's how you complete the whole clean. But right now, just elbow sliding. And again, don't worry that your belts far from your shoulder. Don't try to complete clean right away. Just focus on landing your elbows and keep your elbows as close to each other as possible. So that's why you want thumbs outward, and that's why body of the belts will be ahead of your forearm. That's exactly what we need.